Hey guys, I had to replace my starter on a 2005 GMC Canyon. Starter's in a very bad place, and if you take it to get it done, they're going to rip half your engine out to get to it. It's in a really hard spot to get to, and they're going to charge you about 5 hours worth of labor at the minimum. I found a way to get into it from the wheel well, and I'm going to try to show you. It's the first time I've done this, so bear with me. This is a GMC Canyon 2005. It is a 5-cylinder, 2-wheel drive. And first thing you want to do is take your battery out, and then you want to chock your wheels, jack it up, pull your wheel off. Make sure your parking brake is on. And then you come down here. Let me show you if I can do this. So, yeah, got your wheel well here, and you got to remove this right here. I should back up here. Remove this right here. These are the little plastic things here, and you gotta pull them out. They're kind of hard to get out, but once you figure them out, take a screwdriver and go behind it and pop this middle piece out. This middle piece right here. And once you get that off, I'll show you. Just a second. Alright guys, so I got that cover off, the wheel well cover. And here, I'm gonna turn this around, sorry. So right there is the starter. Yep. And so you have a very small space to get your arms. If you have big fat forearms, it's going to be hard to get in there. I've got skinny ones, so it's easy. I have just enough reach to get in there. So the next thing you do is remove this. This is your steering assembly. So you just undo this. This one thing. It'll come out pretty easy. You gotta jiggle it a little bit, but you should be able to get it out. And then you get your ratchet, your socket, and you get back in there. And I don't know if I can. There's a bolt right. Let's see if I can get right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. That's the bolt on the bottom. And then there's one on the top. Around the back on the top. You have to just feel your way up in there. Up over the solenoid. There. Just reach your hand back there. And the one in the back actually isn't a bolt. It's a nut. The bolt is actually, I think, in the frame. And then the one on the bottom is a bolt that just bolts out. But I'll go ahead and try to get that, and you might have to remove some of these wiring harnesses. But you have to undo the power where it's going into the solenoid. All those, you got to take all the wires off of there, and then get the nuts loose, and then pull your starter out, and you'll have to weave it through all that stuff, but it's possible. I've done it. So okay, I'm gonna pause for now. Okay, so I went ahead and took off the bolt that goes to your steering assembly here. It has this really weird little plastic piece. I guess it's like so it's not metal on metal. It goes kind of in the middle there. I had to kind of wiggle it out through the middle. So it's just kind of screw it. It has like a threading on the inside. It's just a little plastic piece, and so it was in between right here, and I had to kind of wiggle that out of there. I had to take a screwdriver and just kind of get it out of there with that. Alright, so and then you wiggle this, so you go ahead and you take the steering assembly part. That will give you room when you get it off to bring it through here. Okay, so yeah, there it is, right in there. You see the purple wire? It's one of the wires that goes to the solenoid. We got to take those off now. I used a 13 millimeter to take the steering assembly bolt off. Alright, so my replacement starter is a Duralast remanufactured starter. I bought it from AutoZone. I think it was $186 and $22 core fee that you can get refunded when you return your old one. This is the new starter. What's great is it comes with a book that will make sure that you have the right starter. Explains how to remove it and replace it, and it does some basic troubleshooting on the inside. Very helpful. This nut and this nut here are 13 millimeter, and this little one here is an 8 millimeter. And now I'm going to try to get off the old one. And so we're gonna get to those bolts back in there. There's that one right there, center of the picture there. That's the bottom bolt. I can't show you the top one, you just have to feel it. You can't even see it. But you can get a socket back there. I think I used an extension. And I can't remember what size. I think it might even be a 16 millimeter, but I'm not sure. I'll let you know here in a second. Okay, so I had to if you can see it, this little wiring harness clip here. I had to undo it. You have to stick your screwdriver in there, and it takes me forever to figure out how to just kind of get it in that groove, and you pop it off. But then move this big wiring harness out of your way. Gives you a little more room, a little more wiggle room. See, I've got the socket right there, and so up in that way where my finger's pointing to the right, up in there, it's really hard. You got to get an extension, and it's a 15 millimeter bolt, and you got to feel it. You got just enough room to get back in there and feel your way back to it, and then you got to take your socket and kind of wiggle it back in there, and make sure with your finger you can feel it on the nut, and then you can loosen it. It's not easy, I'll just tell you. So this is probably one of the harder parts of this whole thing, but after that it's just a matter of wiggling this thing out of here. So okay. Okay, so I got the starter off. That last part you have to be very patient because it's very difficult. You barely get back in there, but you can. I used a big socket with a what is this? The half inch extension, and a long 15 millimeter socket, and so you'll see how it's set up. So the bottom, this is how it's sitting up in the truck, kind of like that, and this is the one that's behind. This one is the one that's behind. It's very hard to get to, but you can get to it with this if you have the right extension and socket. And the bottom one's very easy. I would do the top one first, just because once you get it loose, if you take this one off, the bottom one first, and that's what I did. When you're trying to undo this one with your fingers, the weight of it keeps it from being able to twist off there. But if you leave the bottom one on, it will hold it up for you and take the pressure off of it and make it easier to get that nut off. This is the nut. This one there's a bolt that comes through here, and this nut goes on the end. The bottom one is just the opposite. It's got a bolt that goes in and bolts on. Alright, so now it's a matter of just wheeling that thing out of there, snaking it out. It's ready. It's sitting right there, ready to go, unhooked. And I'm just going to bring it right through here, kind of try to get it through. Well, so close, but I was hoping to avoid a step. I just don't have enough to get through there. It's getting stuck on this. There's a little metal bracket or plate that all the wiring harness is kind of attached to. It's this black, see if you can see it. It's a black plate here, and so the last time I did it, I took that off and it gave me a lot more space right through here to get this through here. So I was hoping I had enough room, but I didn't. So I got to do that extra step, and it's a little cumbersome. You got to try to get the bolts off, and then let's see if I can show you. There's one right there. I think there's 3, and I don't know if I can show you the other ones, but you can mess around and try to find them. There's one up and through here, 2, and then there's one right in there. So one up in there, down there, and then one over there. So I'm gonna get that off, and then you gotta snake that out once it's out through all these wiring harnesses. It's a little cumbersome, but if you do it, then you'll be able to get that starter out a lot easier. Okay, before when I was showing you where the screw was for that black plate, there's one up there. So if you there's that big wiring harness here. See the relationship? There's where my starter, I'm trying to bring it through the wheel well here. And so yeah, you got to remove these wiring harnesses. And again, it just clips. I think there's this one and maybe one more. I'm not sure. But there's one of the screws up there. It's actually, you can get to it from the top, from your hood there. I mean, the hood. So, and then the other one's up in there. You can feel it with your finger. And I think there's one more. I can't find that one yet. So, but you just feel around till you kind of figure it out. Anyway. So what I did is I removed this where the battery sits, that plastic casing. I mean, once you just take your whole battery out. There's a nut, just one bolt holding that whole thing on. Take your battery out and then take that casing off, plastic casing, and you're gonna be able to get to that bolt really easy. It's just right there. So. That's the top one, but now the 2 at the bottom are kind of hard to get to, but that'll help you get that one off. Okay, sorry, I forgot. You got to remove that screw there, and then this bracket here, and this just pops off with a screwdriver. I'll have to get a screwdriver. But you'll have to undo that, and then there's this wiring harness here. That other one, you can see it from the bottom too, but it's probably easier to get to right here. It's just right here. So anyway, so this white bracket just pops off. It holds all these, but that's attached. That bracket is attached to this metal plate that you're going to take out. So I found the other bolt from the top. See if I can show you. Get the light on it here. It's kind of dark back in there. Well, it's very difficult to see back in there. Hold on, let me readjust. So yeah, there it is right there. You can see it. There, you see it, silver there. And I think you can get to it easier from the top, but we'll see. I'm going to give it a try. If not, try to get it from the bottom. Anyway. Okay, so I actually had to take both these white brackets off. This one at the top that hold these right here, and then that one at the bottom. Be careful, they're plastic and they can be real easy to break. It's kind of a pain to get off. But see, this is all loose. And here's the plate. This black plate right here. See if you can see it. This black plate. See how it's loose. And I can pull it out of there. And I think I pulled it out from the bottom through the wheel well last time. I don't know if I can do it from up here, so we'll go down there and try. Okay, so yeah, I got the that other bolt off of that metal plate, and I didn't have to take it all the way off, just those two from the top. I got it out, and it was loose enough so that it gave me some more play here. There's one little wiring harness that comes off one of the big fat ones that it keeps getting stuck on, so I had to really kind of figure that out, how to get around it. I don't know if I could tell you. I kind of flipped this part of this was actually the other way, facing that way, so I kind of turned it so that this was this way, and it came around it from the back side. That's all I can describe to you. It's just hard to do, but I about got it out right here. Okay, I finally got it out. Took about 2 hours and 15 minutes from the time I started to take the wheel well cover off. Yeah, it didn't take very long. It's just kind of hard to do, but it's a lot quicker and a lot less complicated than ripping out you have to get your intake manifold and all that stuff off from the top, and that's just crazy. It can be done this way, but again, I've got small hands and arms, so it's easy for me to get back in there. So if you're a bigger guy, it might be a little harder. But anyway, there it is. It's the old one. I actually replaced the solenoid too long ago, and that's why I know how to get in there this way. But then I should have just replaced the whole thing. So don't make the same mistake. If you're gonna, and that's why they don't sell them really at the auto parts dealer separate, just because it's just better to go ahead and replace. I mean, it's more of an expense, but it's worth it, because this was on its way out too, just not as quickly as the solenoid. The plunger, or whatever it is that pushes the gear out to spin it, failed in this. It was working for a while, and then it just finally died. So now next step is to put the new one in, and so it's just kind of the reverse. So good luck. Hope this helps you.